Right, evening, guys. Welcome to those.
Heyo.
Not that I want to. It's bar humbug, but sod it.
I haven't got my bar humbug one handy.
No, I can't find my one.
I just say bar
I know
humbug.
exactly where mine is, but I can't get to it at the moment, and I've lost one of my antlers since the other day. So
I couldn't find my bar humbug one. That's why I put my username as bar humbug. So we've got the 5 watching. Welcome everyone. So I'm guessing that's going to be Colin for a start.
And one of them's probably my telly as well.
Oh, okay. Hopefully Eileen's feeling better and she'll be able to pop by. So this week we might get a few haters on this one if any of the religious types come across it. Because traditionally, I was even brought up with it. Traditionally, Christmas is the time for the birth of baby Jeebus, and we're about to burst a few bubbles, I believe. I think, as it was Linda's idea for this one, fortnight ago, 3 weeks ago, I think we'll start with you, Lynn, if that's all right with you.
Okay. Well, let's start with the Christmas star that the Magi followed to get to the stable. Number 1.
Evening, Cole.
Even in the Holy Land at this time of year, it's cold.
Hi, Perry.
So you're not going to be wanting to sleep in a stable. I know there's no room at the end and blah, 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 blah. But here goes the first bubble burst. You can actually check star charts for that time period. The star that they were following was visible across Europe and the Holy Land March to May, which also is backed up by, think of all the Christmas carols. The shepherds watch their flocks by night. And there's lambs.
Don't watch your flocks in December.
Yeah, and there's lambs in the nativity scenes and everything. There ain't no lambs in December.
Nope.
So, yeah. To follow that star, they were following that star in late spring and early summer. So, 25th of December isn't when the apologies, I have to use my favorite term for him, the narcoleptic carpenter, was not born in December.
No, they actually think it could potentially have been August or September.
Yeah.
Late August, early September.
Well, you think walking all the way through Europe and effectively Turkey, etc., to get to the Holy Land, it'd take you a few months. Well, so even on a camel.
They say it was gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And I believe, gotta get this right, I believe it's myrrh comes from a tree that at the time only grew in Ethiopia.
That's a good way south of the Holy Land.
Yeah, so the one that brought the myrrh would have had to have travelled from Ethiopia to Bethlehem.
Yeah, that's months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On foot, that'd be a hell of a long time.
Yeah.
There's also one theory that I saw. I believe it was Michio Kaku, possibly, some years back. They said, in theory, the story of following the star might potentially be true, but the star may have actually been Halley's Comet.
I did see a few that suggested perhaps it was a comet, but that doesn't account for it stopped above the stable. But whereas if you're in the right place, it does appear that the stars stop moving at certain points during their circuit.
There was a meteor, 20 odd years ago, was it Hale-Bopp or whatever it was called? And if you stared at it at certain angles, you could see that it was moving across the sky. But if you looked at it head on, it looked like it was stationary.
Yeah.
So therefore, that could
coming
explain.
Right at you, it's going to appear stationary.
like it would do if you're in a car and you go past an aeroplane. It
There
looks like the
are-
aeroplane frozen in the sky. So
There
therefore,
are-
the theory of above the star could potentially be that it was coming in their direction or going away from
There's
their direction.
a few other theories I came across with it.
Mm.
Number one, unlike a lot of things in the Bible, there is literally one source for the story of the star.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in Matthew 2, where the Magi from the east arrive asking for the King of the Jews, claiming they have seen his star in the east, according to the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
The Magi are likely Persian or Babylonian astrologer priests who interpreted celestial movements as omens. The star went before them until it stood over the place where the child was in Bethlehem.
One thought that's literally just occurred to me is at the moment Beetlejuice is in the process of going supernova. Could the star they've seen been a star going supernova?
A supernova has been suggested. Another suggestion is a planetary conjunction. Johannes Kepler suggested a triple conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in 7 BC, which is close enough.
It's not
with all the theories put together, it puts the birth of Jesus between 7 and 2 BC.
Mm.
So, but
I believe that's what it's believed anyway, isn't it?
Hmm?
That is what it's believed. I think it's believed between the fifth and the first, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think so. That does work out.
Comets have been suggested. Frederick Larson used software to show that Jupiter appeared to stop over Bethlehem due to retrograde motion on December 25th, 2 BC. But it's the only one that's coming up with the December date. The rest of them are all coming up with summer dates and spring dates. The general consensus of opinion is pious fiction. Literary device used by the author of the Matthew book to convey the cosmic importance of the birth rather than a historical event. So that's first bubble burst.
Well,
I did look up some pretty pictures, though.
Oh, good. I must admit, I'll have to do that while we're doing this. I completely forgot to pick up the images for the things that I'd looked for. But right, have you put any up?
I've got one in just now. I've only downloaded one of the star thing. And I only picked that one because it looks like it's got the colors of the Northern Lights in it.
Yeah.
That would be one heck of a cold manger there.
Oh, yeah.
That would be a bit nippy, wouldn't it?
You would be, well, she would be freezing her ass off. Never mind the baby. The baby would probably just be a blue block.
It would have slid out easier. So some of these I'm going to really struggle because some of these, I don't know why a lot of the ones I've gone for ended up being German. I don't know if that's because I don't know if that's because my mum was half German and my granddad was full German, or if it was just the way it happened to fall. But
well, the Northern Hemisphere, most of the alleged Christmas stuff is either Germanic or Norse.
Yeah.
So
yeah. In fairness, I was trying to look for Norse, but everything that caught my attention was always German or Germanic or like from Austria. So I don't know. Image I found, and for some reason they've got an image of Black Anis rather than who it's meant to be. So that's completely and utterly wrong there. Okay. So Joe, what have you found, my good friend?
Well, I've got something here about the date. You know, you guys, we've all been talking over the past week or so about it to be spring or early summer because, you know, take your sheep out to the fields and things like that.
Yeah.
In cold and all of that. So
Yeah.
the idea that December 25th wasn't chosen because it was Jesus' actual birthday, and the Bible doesn't actually specify.
No.
Scholars think it was likely in the spring, as we've been talking about. Instead, it aligned with popular pagan solstice celebrations, marking the winter solstice, shortest day of the year, December 21st, 22nd, when the days begin to lengthen, the start. And that symbolizes the return of light from darkness. And that's why they picked that day, because it's going into the light. Jesus is born. We're moving into the light now. So that's one thing I've got here, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, I did find that.
Thinking of it as a literary construct as well, that totally makes sense with the message they were trying to put out.
Well, a lot of that is the message they're trying to put out.
Yeah.
It's let's do this, and then to make it easy, what we've been talking about is, okay, let's make it around this time where this festival was done, and this festival was done, and this festival was done, so that everybody would click in a little bit easier into what they'd like them to believe now. Let's do this. Well, it's so close to what you're already doing.
Well, that's it, yeah, because the Saturnalia, eat until you're sick and keep eating. Likewise for drink, dance and bump uglies with anything that's willing. And that was the 25th of December.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, I must admit, this one, I actually put a lot more research into this one. And I was thinking, I'm only going to do a little bit. But the more I was researching it, the more I was actually finding it interesting.
I ended up with 9 different topic tabs open.
I hate to think how many I had open at one point.
Yeah.
I had it on my TV. I had it on my laptop that I'm streaming from, and my little laptop I was using to put the notes on. So I was flicking between. From what, let me put my reading glasses on over there. Where's the one I wanted? Right, from what I found, Pope Gregory IV in the 4th century sent a missionary called Augustine to convert the pagans. After multiple failed attempts, Augustine wrote back to Gregory, and in his letter he explained the festivals have been going on for centuries and were too important to the pagans. So in a controversial step, Pope Gregory basically said, if you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah.
So instead of trying to stop their festivals, Pope Gregory suggested transforming them. So instead of worshipping the rebirth of the sun, he brought it in to be the birth of the Son of God.
Yeah, that would have been Sol Invictus. They used that from the Romans.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I did have that written down, but I didn't dare try to pronounce it. So,
but yeah, unconquered sun, Sol Invictus, and then they chose that day to Christianize the rebirth of, or the birth of Jesus, the rebirth of the sun. And there you go. Same, that's why they chose the equinox, the winter equinox, or solstice. I'm sorry, equinox is spring and fall.
I did have like a massive half a book worth of stuff I've written down about the Yule log, but Linda's going to do that, so I'll let her do it. I obviously I'd heard of the Yule log, but I didn't know where that came from until today. I've never ever bothered researching it, and that was actually quite interesting. I was quite surprised how interesting that was. The other bit I found was the 25th of December was chosen as the birth of Christ, is because it was only 4 days after the winter solstice, and the pagan festival was already underway, with the hope of integrating the pagan festivals with Christianity and gradually stamping out the old traditions. So that kind of makes sense. Leave it for a few days after they started celebrating the solstice, which obviously the Yule log is all part of. Wait until 3 or 4 days in when they're all completely rat-assed. And then while they're drunk, you might be able to like Chinese whisper a thing around a village and hopefully it sticks somewhere, sort of thing. If you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So did you want to explain about the Yule log? So I can delete
Can
that
do.
one.
Let me find my image that I took down for the Yule log.
A lot of what I was researching, as you said, a lot of it is Norse and Germanic and things like that. And to be honest with you, some of the Christmas deities were brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the things they'd done were not very pleasant whatsoever. They make Krampus quite tame.
Yeah.
So here we go.
So Yule log's origins rooted in ancient Northern European winter solstice rituals, mostly Scandinavian and Germanic. Effectively, the short version is your Yule log is a log that has to burn for the duration of Yule. Now, if you're going full traditional, this is going into the fire on the 5th of December, and it has to burn right the way through to the 6th of January.
The 12 days, I heard.
Well, a lot of them have said the 12 days, but when you look on the Norwegian sites, it's from St. Nicholas. Is it St. Nicholas Day up to the Epiphany, which is La Befana.
Okay.
So the 5th of December to the 6th of January, effectively. So as you can see by the graphic, that would have to be a log and a half. And the whole point is this is to represent a case of, okay, the sun we can't see the sun, but we can create a little fake sun, and we're going to keep it burning for the duration to show that we're keeping the heat, we're keeping the light, we're effectively babysitting it until it can come back. So
with the research I was doing, obviously when you got wood and stuff on fires or coal on fires or whatever it is you happen to be used, you'll get the sparks and the embers going up, and they'll go up into the air. From what I saw, they believed that the sparks and the embers going up into the air was what reignited the sun.
Yeah. Or they would all gather together to create a new sun if you're going to slightly different countries. So, but the majority of it now just says keep it burning for the 12 days of Christmas. But on the old Norwegian sites, you still have it going for a month, basically.
So I must admit, I do kind of like that the embers from the Yule log are what re-sparks. It is a romanticized thing because obviously it's not that doing it. But like on the anniversary of my son Dayton's death and what would be his birthday, I always light a candle, put it on the windowsill, leave it to burn for a minute or two, and not say a prayer as such, but I have a speak to him. Then I open the window and I blow it out and let the smoke go up to him. So it's almost like connecting the earth with the heavens. That way. And to me, the Yule log seems to be very similar.
Yeah.
So, right, Joe, sorry.
There's a couple of local customs that are connected to it. One of them is Catalan, and they call it Tio de Nadal, which literally translates as the shitting log. When you beat it with sticks, it releases candy. So basically, it's like I've forgotten the word.
Pinata.
That's the one. Yeah. And then it also says that there's.
I hope it is candy that comes out of it, not shits.
Yeah, it is candy. Then it says there's a British version which I've never come across before. Which is called the Ashen Faggot, which is a bundle of ash sticks.
I've never heard of that one.
I've never heard of that one. And my first thought when I saw the name of it was a very poorly aimed joke.
Yeah. I can imagine. Have you heard of that one, Joe?
Yep. I have.
I've never heard of that. Never ever heard of that one.
Saturday when I was researching all this stuff.
So you've only just heard of it then? Well, that's one. That's one more than me. So, right, Joe, what we got? What you got next?
Well, I think I'll stomp on one here real quick. Santa Claus. Where does he come from? There's several places Santa Claus comes from. Well, primarily he comes from St. Nicholas, St. Nick, jolly old St. Nick, a 4th century bishop known for generosity out of Turkey, I believe. Some folklore links him to Odin during Yule. Odin rode Sleipnir, an 8-legged horse, through the sky, leading the wild hunt, rewarding good children. He left gifts and boots filled with straw for his horse, of course. And over time, this merged with the Dutch Sinterklaas, and other figures, which turned in later into our modern day Santa Claus. And of course, Coca-Cola turning from green to red. So he used to be mostly green and stuff to be with the tree, et cetera, and Coca-Cola in the early 1900s, late 1800s, turning red based on, I think you mentioned it, Linda, that drunk sailor guy who was ejecting his innards into the bay.
Yeah.
And said, "Oh, he looks jolly." Yeah, there's our St. Nicholas right there.
In his red bishop's robes.
Well, traditionally, wasn't he depicted wearing green?
There is green, brown, and blue.
Okay.
Let me find.
I was always led to believe the traditional colours for Christmas were green and red.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how true that is, but
most everything I've got here for St. Nick, he's in red and a little bit of green, like a green cloak or something.
There we go. Sorry, just literally as I was about to click on that picture, whoever put that last one up removed it, so it jumped across and accidentally kicked Joe off. Yeah, that's the image I was always.
Yeah, the green is supposedly linked with him being like the green man of the forest and showing he's bringing spring with him. He's bringing the tree with him for the whole taking the evergreen inside so that the wood spirits, etc., have got somewhere to live in the winter to stay warm. Then we have...
Would he be sort of like the mirror image of, say, like Bacchus?
Without the partying?
Yeah.
They're sort of like getting merry and all that.
If you take the alcohol and sex out of it, yes, it would be. So, but there you've got images of green, brown,
no
and blue.
alcohol and no sex. I must be Santa Claus.
Yeah, the Bacchanalia and all of that going on would be not quite the right image for Christmas that we're looking for.
Yeah.
I've now seen it in the blue. I've never seen it like that. Never.
It's Russian is the blue. It's Father Frost.
Oh, okay.
And he has various different incarnations, which I'll come back to instead of hijacking Joe's story.
Anyway, yeah, let's sit back and we'll listen to Joe's. Give me a chance to drink my coffee before it gets cold for a change.
Well, the Santa Claus is just basically that kind of stuff. Odin, Saint Nick, all the good children getting rewarded. That and as who is it? Who's that funny lady on the thing that's always screwing up the history on TV? Comedian lady, but she said something like, "Yeah."
I know you mean Crunk.
Yep. Philomena Kunk. Yeah. She gets on and she said, I just watched something today. She says, all of the rich children all the good children get gifts, and all the bad children also get gifts. The only children that don't get gifts are the poor children. It's kind of like it's like Christmas is based on your family's financial abilities.
Yeah.
So that kind of just, I was like, oh, yeah, okay, that's good. But yeah, St. Nick has got a lot of stuff going on now. There's some other stuff here. I'm trying to find where I had I had like 3 sections here, and of course I don't put them all together. That would be too easy. But there was a lot of stuff, and most of it turns into basically the Saint Nicholas changing over time into our modern day stuff.
Mhm.
Some Christian or some customs evolved independently or were strictly Christian. For example, 25th may derive from an early Christian calculation that Jesus' conception was March 25th, Annunciation. However, the overlap with the pagan festivals is very clear and very obvious, and it facilitated the spread of Christianity. Some of the things having to do with Saint Nick being very generous, and he used to go about leaving gifts for people in his parish. He would go and leave gifts for the children there, and food and stuff like that for families in need. So he was always there. So that was a good thing. Jesus kind of had that same feeling, that same kind of let's help everybody kind of a thing. So there's a lot of mixing and matching of all the different pagan stuff with the early Christian stuff, and then it's changed over time.
It's kind of a shame how, I don't know, it's kind of a shame how other traditions of, I don't know, I suppose bastardized, for want of a better word, really, to make what Christmas is. However, it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be the same, really. I'm trying to find an image. I can't find it. There's a no, I can't find it, unfortunately. There was a thing I was watching earlier. There's one, I think it's either German or Austrian town that claims to have the skeleton of the real Santa Claus of Saint Nick.
But I know what you're talking about.
But I completely forgot to get the images up.
St. Nicholas's relics are in the Basilica di San Nicola in Italy.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So they say. And they apparently exude a miraculous liquid known as the manna of St. Nicholas.
Okay.
Oh, but yeah, it's...
I'm sure there's Santa Claus in his sack joke there somewhere.
Oh, God. Trust you.
Yeah, big Bari down in the heel of Italy.
Right, as one that
his most famous story I've come across is the 3 dowries. There was a man local to him who didn't have much money, and he had 3 daughters, and he wouldn't be able to supply a dowry for all 3 of them. And one night it was particularly bitterly cold, but because one of the daughters had a fever, her window was open. And in the morning, they found 3 little packets of gold had been thrown through the window, one for each daughter to be the dowries.
No, I heard of that one before.
Yeah, it's the first story I ever heard about St. Nicholas. So, and he denied all knowledge, but pretty much the whole town knew it had to be him. So
I'm just quickly sharing out that we're now live. I forgot to do it.
Yeah, the Venetians supposedly took the body or the remains, all the relics of Saint Nicholas to Venice, but they left his left arm in Bari, and that's all there is in Bari in the church is his left arm. The rest of him is supposedly in Venice. There's a professor of archaeological excavations in Myra, where Saint Nicholas is from. He's telling the Turkish government that they should request the repatriation of St. Nicholas's relics from anywhere that they happen to be. So, because that was the intention of St. Nicholas to be buried in Myra. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, because that's where he was from.
Yep.
That's interesting. I've not heard that one before. That is interesting.
I'm coming back to the Green Santa for a little tiny bit.
Let me go to the one that I'm going to probably completely butcher this, and I should be ashamed being as I'm of German descent, but I ain't going to be able to pronounce this correctly. But it's the Schnabelperchen, I believe it's pronounced. Human-like deity with the head of a crow and a basket on their back that makes a sound that's a cross between a cow, a duck, and a crow for some reason. Have no idea why. Apparently, they'll come into your house to check that it's clean. They'll run their beaks along the floors, all the sides, and in the fireplace to make sure it's clean. And if they find any dirt, they will cut you open with a pair of scissors, take all the household dirt, put it back inside you, and then sew you shut with the blade of a ox plow. So I'm not sure what's worse, being cut open by the scissors.
That's some pretty big stitches.
Yeah, or the pretty massive stitches. I'm not sure what's more... I don't know what's worse on that one, but I just thought it was kind of weird, that one.
I think the holes created by that plow are going to be worse than any incision they make.
Yeah, definitely.
But I must have it several of them, because I'll go into them. But you got Frau Perchter, you got Frau Holder, which are very similar, but they basically say almost identical stories. And there's what they put inside the body.
Penny's gone and got the Hoover out after that one. I'm not sure that'd be particularly nice to. I actually think having them being cut open and having all the dirt from your fireplace stuck inside and all the dust from on your floor will be a little bit more comfortable than having it sewn back up. So just thankfully the NHS have changed slightly since then. So right, back to Linda. You said you had some others. I'm dipping back into the Green Santa. So
Sure, I've still got the image.
Several places in Europe and some pagan traditions. 16th century England's Father Christmas was often pictured in green or scarlet robes. It represented the spirit of midwinter revelry rather than just children's gifts. Of course, when you look at Dickens' story, the Ghost of Christmas Present has a massive velvet green robe on. So that's the green one.
Well, they do say that Dickens is what created Christmas as we know it, don't they?
He's the one that brought Christmas back after it was banned.
Yeah, he's the father of modern day Christmas. So
yeah. Then we have going on to the brown Santa. Early depictions, 17th to 19th century. Figures of St. Nicholas and Father Christmas were very visually fluid, often depicted in a variety of muted, earthy colours, brown, tan, grey, green, depending on the region and the illustrator. The English folk figure Father Christmas was originally tied to older pagan traditions, sometimes wearing green or brown robes that reflected forests and seasonal renewal, rather than the ecclesiastical red of St. Nicholas. Victorian illustrations, you'll find basically any colour of Santa you want.
Yeah.
Then we skip forward again. And who have we got now? Dead Moros, Grandfather Frost. Now, Grandfather Frost has different depictions all over Russia, because Russia, a bit like the US, was a tribal society before modern history. And each different tribe has a representative grandfather frost.
Is
And
this
that's the main ones nowadays.
I'm sorry, but they are some pretty impressive outfits.
Yeah.
They are some really impressive outfits. Apart from this guy on the far right, he's a little bit underdressed, but
well, the one on the far right is supposed to be the granddaughter.
Really?
Yeah. I'm guessing they couldn't find a woman to do it that year.
I was going to say
that is a woman, and she's just scary.
Yeah.
It could be the
grandfather Frost traditionally comes from Slavic culture in Russia and Eastern Europe. He shares similarities with Western Santa, but he has distinct origins, appearance, and tradition. He originated from ancient Slavic mythology as a powerful and sometimes harsh winter spirit named Morozko. His mythological roots. Originally, he was a winter wizard who chained water with ice, meaning you had to ask permission if you wanted water. Early legends depict him as a strict figure who could freeze travelers or kidnap children if they were rude or lacked respect for the winter. He was modernized in stories in 1840. Children's tales of grandfather Irenaeus. He was called Moroz Ivanovich. After the 1917 Russian Revolution, Christmas traditions were initially banned. However, in 1935, Father Frost was reintroduced as a secular symbol for New Year's Eve, which became their main winter holiday. Key differences from Santa. Father Frost has heel-length fur coat, red, blue, or white, a semi-round fur hat, and traditional valenki, the felt boots. He carries a long magical staff. He's always accompanied by his granddaughter and helper, Sneggurochka, the snow maiden. Instead of a flying reindeer-drawn sleigh, he travels across the land in a troika, which is a sleigh pulled by 3 horses. His official residence in Russia is the town of Veliki Ustyug in Belarus. He is said to live in Belaveshka Pushka Forest. He delivers presents on New Year's Eve, placing them under the New Year fir tree. There is a Father Frost fairy tale. And the plot of it basically is a kind girl is abandoned in the snowy forest by her father at the demand of her cruel stepmother. Father Frost finds her and is moved by her politeness and endurance to the weather, and he rewards her with jewels and fine clothing. When the stepmother finds out, she sends her rude, greedy daughter into the forest for the same thing. The rude, greedy daughter is disrespectful to Father Frost and is frozen to death as punishment.
That's nice.
So Santa's judgmental in Russia. So that's all my Santas. The ones that are in that photo with the bunch of them.
I'll chuck that up again, actually.
It's actually got... This is the summit of the original Santas of northern Russia. On the very left, you have Yamal-Iri, the White Elder of the Yamal Peninsula, belonging to the indigenous Nensi people. Second from the left is Russian Ded Moroz himself, who is Grandfather Frost. Third from the left is Chiskan, the Bullman of the Saka people of Yakutia in northern Siberia. The next one, the lady, is Tugeni Enekin, which is Mother Winter of the Evenki and other tundra nomads. After her is the visiting official Santa Claus from Finland, And then Pokane, the youngish Santa of the ethnic Karelian people. So there is a woman in there with the very, very tall blue.
With the
The darker
spiky.
blue. Yeah, with the spikes. That is the woman. The one on the right is the modern, youngish one from the Karelian people. So that's who they are and from their different tribal areas. So I just think it's so cool. I love it every time that picture pops up because it pops up every so often on Facebook. I just love seeing it because if you look carefully, they're all sat on ice thrones that have been carved for them.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to mention. That them thrones are really impressive.
Mm-hmm.
That is really, really impressive.
If there's one thing Russians definitely know, it's snow and ice.
Yeah. Right, back over to you, Joe.
All right. So I thought Ian was going to do Krampus.
He was, but unfortunately,
Ian's alley. But
for those that are watching, apologies from Ian. He had visitors turn up at the last minute, and Tracy couldn't be here for. I know it's only a second one, but she had a family emergency that she had to get to, so that's why you just got put up with us three.
It's December. Everybody knows the proverbial likes to hit the fan in December.
Yeah, it's manic.
Touch wood. Touch wood.
Yeah.
Well, Krampus is a horned demonic figure from Central European folklore, particularly in the Alpine regions like Austria, Germany, especially Bavaria, and parts of Slovenia, Hungary, and the Czech Republic, Czechia. He's the dark counterpart to St. Nicholas, the inspiration of Santa Claus, who rewards good children with gifts on December 6th. Krampus, on the other hand, punishes the naughty ones. So according to traditional story, the evening of December 5th, known as Krampusnacht or Krampus Night, Krampus accompanies St. Nick on visits to children. Good kids receive treats and gifts from the saint, while misbehaving ones get birch rods for whipping, lumps of coal, or worse. You can't imagine worse.
Not really, no.
No.
I don't think my kids would be too happy with a lump of coal in a Christmas stocking in a couple of days' time.
Well, if it was cold outside, they might, but one lump of coal isn't going to do much.
No.
Krampus stuffs them into his sack or basket and drags them off to his lair, or even to hell, depending on who you're talking to, for punishment. He's depicted as a half goat, half demon creature with horns, fur, cloven hooves, has a long red tongue, fangs, and chains that rattle dramatically, symbolizing the devil bound by the church. The tale serves as a moral.
I also saw that he's also known as the Shadow of Saint Nick.
Yeah, he's a counterpart. He's the evil side of our good Saint Nick.
There we go. There's that festival you mentioned.
The tale serves as a moral lesson: behave well or face terrifying consequences. The stark contrast to the purely jolly Christmas traditions held in places like North America, because we don't really do a lot of Krampus stuff in North America.
No.
Krampus's roots likely trace back to pre-Christian pagan winter solstice rituals in the Alpine regions, where figures like him helped ward off evil spirits during the darkest time of the year. Some folklore links him to Norse mythology, possibly the son of Hel, the goddess of the underworld. Now, using an evil creature to ward off evil spirits is interesting. The figure was absorbed into Christian traditions by the 16th and 17th centuries, paired with St. Nick to handle punishment, the bad kids, since the saint couldn't be seen whipping children. Okay. He appeared in early records around the 16th century, though some historians debate the true pre-Christian origins, suggesting the full legend developed later. Krampus faced suppression, banned by the Catholic Church at times.
There's depiction of hell.
But yeah, he was banned by the Catholic Church for a while, or a couple of times there, just because he's such a creep. And then all of a sudden, my page just disappeared.
That's a
Oh.
quick depiction of hell.
Yeah, that's
Not the
hell.
one. Not the one I was looking for, because traditionally she had one side of her face was beautiful, the other side was decayed and burnt, and that looks more like it's just been severely tattooed. But
Yeah.
I was
And
doing
dug
it right.
up last week.
But Hell is Odin's daughter, so she was in charge of the underworld and things like that. So yeah, but she's the movies when you see her, like in some of the Marvel things, when you see Hell show up, she's got one side is skeletal and stuff falling off and everything. The other side's very nice looking. So
yeah. Actually, I think I have got an image on my laptop of Hell here, just through luck. Where is it? Here it is. And it happens to be the Marvel depiction of her. There we go. That's the I believe that was Thor, or one of the Thor films anyway. I believe that was. I don't remember, because I'm not really into Marvel. I'm more of a DC fan myself. So, but from what I was researching, Christianity has put the niceness into Christmas. Before Christianity incorporated itself into the pagan festivals, nearly everything seemed to be dark, and evil's not the right word for it, but everything was like almost scare the shit out of the person, because something bad is going to happen if you don't do this, that, and the other. Even something
that's how
simple.
Christianity was in the early times.
Mm.
I mean, this loving God that we've got now is totally different. Yeah,
brilliant.
but back go back a century or two, 2 centuries or more, and you don't have a loving, kind God. You've got a vengeful God. You know,
Yeah,
and that's how all of that went.
Yeah,
So you follow the rules, or you'd go to hell.
This is one of the arguments I often have when I try debating Christians, but they won't have adult conversations, for want of a better way of putting it. It's always no sort of attitude towards it. But in the Bible itself, it even says, God himself even says he brought light and he brought evil. The Bible itself says that God created evil, yet Satan is depicted as the evil one. Yet in the Bible, Satan only kills 10 people, 8 of which are orders by God himself.
Yeah.
So I've never really understood. Obviously, it's like any Hollywood film. You've got to have a good guy and a bad guy.
And he was the perfect one to turn into Satan or the devil or whatever label you want to give him, because the whole light and darkness thing, his name Lucifer is the bringer of light.
But also in the Bible, Jesus says, "I am the was it the morning dawn or something?" But Jesus actually calls himself that as well.
Yeah, I am the light.
I am the light, and he says about how he is. Basically, what Jesus says is what people depict Satan as now.
Yeah.
So, but there's also a lot of theories that more so nowadays, with the people that really research that sort of thing, that one theory going about is that Jesus, the story of Jesus, is actually warning about God. Not trying to get people to go to God, but trying to warn them about God, which I thought was quite an interesting theory. But as far as the Christian,
I'm being summoned to open a window.
that goes back to the vengeful God thing.
Yeah.
You know, follow God, believe in God, or else you'll go to hell or whatever. And as she just said a second ago, and I just lost my train of thought. I'm thinking too much. I got to stop that. I can't be thinking too much. But you've got Lucifer was the most beautiful of all angels.
Mm.
Number one. Number two, he revolted against God because he wanted to be in power. He wanted to be in power. So God kicked him and all of his followers off heaven and put him down in charge of hell. That's
Yeah.
the story. So that's what goes on there. So yes, he did create evil.
Mhm.
Now Lucifer, the most beautiful of all angels, is now personifying evil in heaven as the the lead of all evil down there. And then if you don't follow God, you're going to go to heaven. And Jesus was sent as a warning to say, hey, you all better follow Dad because he's he's what it's got to be.
Mm.
I mean,
the trouble is back in those times they didn't have the concept that the human body has got so many different bugs in them, and we got bacteria in our body, and there's bacteria that we need to survive and that. And as we said before, simple as epilepsy was depicted as demonic possession.
Mhm.
You know, so but the going on to back to the Christmas aspect of it, Christmas and Christianity in general has been taken from so many different other older religions, like Zoroastrianism, for instance. The Epic of Gilgamesh has the story of the Great Flood. It also has a story almost identical to Adam and Eve, and all these different aspects, and it's all been taken in. So it would make sense that Christianity would take the aspects of pagan festivals such as Christmas, because for pagans, Christmas, basically back then, nowadays it's not so bad. You know, you can go onto your phone, you can do a bit of shopping and order it from Tesco's. Back then, it's like the grain store's running low. It's got so cold, all the chickens have died. We've only got 2 cows left, and we've got 400 people to feed. So winter was a major fear. As I said in chat earlier, even the bravest of warriors, you know, that they may have gone out, sacrificed their own lives so that there's less food, so they don't need to eat, so that people in their tribe can eat.
That's kind of mirrored with the Yule cat from Icelandic folklore. The Yule cat, there'll be a horrible, horrible snowstorm, and how you react to that snowstorm is how the Yule cat will treat you. So the Yule cat is hiding inside the storm. The Yule cat is like 60, 70 foot tall, right? Hides in this big snowstorm. If you go out to your porch or your window with a lantern looking for people and shouting, hello, you can come in here, it's safe, the Yule cat will smile. You might hear him purr, and he'll trot off to the next one. Those that batter the doors and windows tight and hide from the storm and don't look for anybody that might be stuck out in it, they're the ones whose house gets trashed by the storm and the Yule cat.
In other words, be a good neighbor.
Yeah, basically, be a good neighbor, be prepared, be kind to others, basically, is what the Yule cat is. And it's an Icelandic one that's been on the go for forever. So
wasn't there? I can't remember the name of them. Wasn't there a group? I don't know if they're dwarves or brothers that are Icelandic as well for around the Christmas period. I tried to remember it today when I was looking up at it. But
I've seen one of the Icelandic and one of the Norse ones where you've got the Holly King and the Ivy King having a fight on top of a hill, but it's like brothers play fighting as to who's going to be in charge. The Holly King for the winter and the Ivy King for the summer.
I'm trying to quickly find. I tried looking for it earlier today, but I just couldn't, for the life of me, I could not remember it. Let me just have a quick look. Oh, Mother Greela and her sons. That was it. Icelandic Yule lads. That was it. The Yule
Oh,
lads.
the Yule lads. Yes, I have heard of that one.
Yeah. I think if I remember rightly, some of the names nowadays, are rather inappropriate.
Yeah.
Right, what we got? I don't even dare pronounce some of Jesus.
Hang on, let me have a look and see if I can find him.
I don't even dare pronounce them. The 13. What's my glasses? Yeah. Have you found it?
Yeah, I've also found the English translation of the names.
Yeah. We've got sheepcoat clod, gully gawk, stubby spoon licker,
Gully gawk,
bowl licker,
stubby,
door slammer, skyer gobbler, sausage swiper,
pot licker, spoon licker,
window peeper, doorway sniffer. What the hell? Meat hook and candle beggar.
door slammer.
That is just
yeah.
Wow.
Scare gobbler, the one who eats all the yogurt.
But number 9, their mother named them sausage swiper, their mother really didn't like them. Wow, that is a brutal name. Spoon
licker.
Yeah. And spoon licker. Wow. That was it. It's taken me right up.
Water slicker.
Wow. That is just brutal. It's hilarious, but it's brutal. I'm sorry.
Very playful,
just
actually.
looking at the English names. Sheepcoat clod teases sheep and has wooden legs. Gully gawk steals milk from cowsheds. Stubby steals crusts from pots and pans. Spoon licker is self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Pot scraper steals all the leftovers for the pots. Bowl licker, again, self-explanatory. Yeah. Door slammer, skier gobbler, nicks all the yogurt. Sausage swiper steals sausages. Windy peeper peeks in windows. Doorway sniffer sniffs for loaves of bread to see who's just finished baking so he can nick one. Meat hook steals meat. And candle stealer, well, that's what it says on the tin. But talk about giving your kids names that might actually lead to jail.
I'm surprised Paulie Yates didn't use some of them names. Right, there's one. Where's the next one I was going to do? Frau Perchta isn't right. Hang on.
I've just found an image for your Yule lads.
Oh, have you? Check that out for us.
Come on, where's it gone?
I don't think if they sold as Mr. Men books that they'd sell very well nowadays.
There we go.
Oh Christ.
Lovely looking boys.
I'm not sure if looking at the pictures actually makes it worse.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And what's that one?
The bowl licker looks like every creepy old man I've ever met in my life.
Yeah. And I have it's just what the hell. Mind you, Greela ain't much of a looker herself, is she really? Doorway sniffer. Christ, I suppose it could have been worse. It could have been pants sniffer, I suppose. Frau Perchta is an early form believed to be between 1,000 and up to 2,000 years older than Christianity. Priests and early Christians were against food offerings being left out for the pagan gods. Basically, to them, it was a waste of food. We're coming into winter. You don't know if you're going to get food throughout the winter, so it was a waste of food. Which does, in fairness, that does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't like the idea of food rotting away out in the streets. Rather than abolishing these rites, they were absorbed into Christianity and changed to suit. Perchta moves through the countryside or on the smoky night of what we now know as the 12 Days of Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So that, I thought that was quite an interesting one, and that it seems Germanic as well. But it's often believed Frau Perchta is come from an older tradition of Frau Holder, a goddess turned witch who spun and weaved the weather on a loom, and it was also believed that she actually on her loom spun human souls. Her loom was what made the human soul.
Oh, like the three sisters, the three weird sisters.
Yeah, like the Stygian witches.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was quite interesting. And the fact that is, some say it's around about 1,000, others say it's up to 2,000 years older than Christianity, which I found that quite interesting, actually.
Yeah.
I was quite shocked that it went back. It was thought to go back that far.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it actually does or not, or if it's just an interpretation, and I think, it must be before that. But the fact that the early Christians tried to stamp that out shows that it was there before Christianity.
Yeah.
So, and it is an aspect of this time of year as well. So I just thought that was quite interesting. Right, over to Linda again, I think it is.
Okay, I'm going for Christmas trees now.
I looked at this. This was interesting, so I want to hear this.
I found a very, very interesting image.
Mm-hmm.
If the flaming thing will load. Okay, AI has decided they wanted to summarize it, which means they've made the image disappear. So I'm going to have to download it from the Google page.
Yeah.
Now, I was looking up pre-Christian Christmas tree. And if I can get it to load, yes. This was the most interesting image I found.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We know. Egyptian.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's caught my attention. So that alone straight away is pre-Christianity.
Yeah, it's pre-everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, basically,
is that Horus?
Early,
is it Horus? That one?
I think it is. I'd need to look it up. God, you can see it's a little picture. It's digitized to hell on the screen.
Yeah, it does look quite.
It's Thoth. Yeah, God of knowledge.
Oh yeah, Thoth. Yeah, Thoth. Oh. So long before Christianity, ancient cultures used evergreen boughs to symbolize eternal life and ward off evil spirits during the winter solstice. Egyptians, Romans during Saturnalia, and the Druids used them. So a popular legend credits St. Boniface in the 8th century with replacing a pagan sacred oak with a fir tree, which he declared a symbol of Christ due to its triangular shape representing the Trinity. That's one of the earlier legends. Then coming a bit further forward into the 16th century, you have Martin Luther, who's responsible for adding lighted candles to the Christmas trees.
Okay.
And that's why we have to light our trees. I'm just looking for the other images. And wait a minute, because I found a few images to put this point across. I can't think where the rest have gone. And later on, after he's come up with the idea of adding lighted candles.
Any particular one? All of that?
They all demonstrate the point, so it's okay.
Yeah. Cool. For me personally, that's a little bit OTT, but...
Yeah, but that can be used for a later one as well. Yeah, Martin Luther thought adding the lights would be a good touch after he first noticed starlight when he was looking through the trees. So, but basically, yeah, that's the whole idea.
Wow.
Christmas tree was brought inside. So that's one of the original photos of a Christmas tree. Now you see the tinselly bits hanging down.
Yeah.
Originally, those tinselly bits would have been crafted from real silver that had been hammered very thin and shredded into strands to mimic the appearance of glistening icicles. And also reflect the light from the candles to make it look brighter in the room. Effectively, those that couldn't afford it would begin making the same thing out of aluminium and lead foil. Lead was preferred for its weight, which allowed it to hang straight down and it didn't tarnish. But of course, that was faded out in the 1970s because of lead poisoning. Most tinsel now is made from PVC film, giving the same metallic finish.
Yeah.
Now, the whole reason all of this comes about is because of this other story that links in with it, which is the story of the Christmas spider.
I have heard this, yeah.
Yeah. The Christmas spider. Now, you see, originally
I didn't realise it was German.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Originally, you would decorate your Christmas tree with food and sweet treats for the fairies and the nature spirits that you're inviting into the house. So it would be filled with treats for them, not for us, for the fairies that have come in with the tree.
Yeah. Message from Perry. Legend has it that Germanic tribes and pagans decorate trees with the entrails of their enemies.
That's what I do.
That would fit with the nasty fairies as well, because as Hoggle would tell you in Labyrinth, fairies bite.
That gives me ideas.
I also drink from the skulls of my enemies.
Yeah.
That gives me ideas for next Christmas.
So the idea is with the tinsel, when you add the folklore into it, our mother was cleaning the house up. The spiders ran away up into the attic to get away from the broom. On quiet Christmas Eve, the spiders slowly came down for a peek, and they saw how beautiful the tree was. In excitement, they scurried up and out along each branch, eyeing up the treats and even sampling some of the treats and the food that had been left. They were filled with happiness as they climbed amongst the glittering beauty, but alas, by the time they were done, the tree was shrouded in their dusty grey web. When Santa came with gifts for the children and saw the tree covered with spider webs, he smiled because he could see how happy the spiders were, but he knew the mother would be heartbroken if she saw it covered in dusty webs. So he turned the webs into strands of silver, and the tree was even more beautiful than before. So you've got the folklore side, and you've also got the metalworking side. And basically, Martin Luther, 16th century, responsible for the lights. And then you have the silver shreds later replaced with the lead shreds. So that's your tree and your tinsel.
I absolutely love that story. I don't see me myself. I don't do Christmas. I only do it because I've got the kids. Otherwise, I wouldn't bother. But I must admit, I quite like that. I've never heard that one before, and I quite like that. That's quite a nice little story.
I'm going to shut up for a bit now because I've only got 2 left. So,
anyway, Joe, up to you.
What we've been talking about all night is syncretism. That's what this whole conversation is syncretism, which is the blending of different religious traditions, pagan, Christian, whoever, plays a key role in scholarly discussions on how Christmas developed. Early Christianity often adapted existing pagan winter festivals, such as Roman Saturnalia, German Yule, etc., to facilitate conversation, reinterpreting symbols such as evergreens and feasting in Christian terms.
Well, What the hell?
light symbolizing Christ,
We've
of
lost
course.
Linda there.
What was that?
My mouse decided to act up and we accidentally lost Linda.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
However,
Sorry,
modern scholars
mouse.
emphasize nuance. Not
I
all
pressed the wrong
customs are.
button. Sorry.
Oh, it was you, was it? I thought it was my mouse that got stuck.
No, I pressed the wrong button.
All right. Anyway, sorry, Joe.
However, modern scholars emphasize nuance. Not all customs are direct thefts, and some claims stem from the 19th century theories that overstated pagan influence. So, you've got that going on, Victorian times and things like that, where everything was all different. Here's then there's a whole bunch of books that we could read on the subjects.
So, like, basically, a lot of what we know today is from pagan traditions, but there's also stuff that is more modernized, for want of a better word.
Yeah, not modern stuff. It was all blended and taken, customs from all over the place moved into it to celebrate Christmas. So it's not really total theft, like I just said. There's a lot of blending where people feel comfortable having this, or this was a neat thing. Let's bring it in. Instead of the, hey, let's change everybody's mind to bring them into Christianity.
Uh-huh.
A lot of it got blended in on its own over time as people remembered things. Your grandma talked about this, or great grandma's stories were brought forward. Things like that.
That makes sense. I was just briefly looking, because obviously, supposedly Jesus born at Christmas and the virgin birth and things like that. The concept of the virgin birth, some theories say it comes from the Near East. Others say it was an Egyptian myth. Others say it was Greek myth of Perseus and Dionysus. Zoroastrianism as well goes on about it, and they've taken that from Christianity. Have taken that from there, and they say that's between 1 and 2 millennia older than Christianity.
Oh.
I knew it was quite a lot older, but I didn't realise it was quite that much. But obviously, the virgin birth and the stable and things, and a lot more modern philosophers and people that do all the religious stuff, they actually believe more likely than not it would have been a cave that Jesus would have been born in.
Well, that'd make more sense.
Yeah.
More shelter.
Well, that's also where a lot of people had their animals kept, were in caves or on the first floor of their home.
Yeah.
Things like that. And then they would live on the second floor. If they could afford a second floor, it would be done like that. So, a cave would be a better thing than just a old barn someplace.
I've got to wrap my brain here, but I believe what reason Mary and Joseph went to Bethlehem was something to do with a census.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But historians have looked into that, and at the time this is supposed to have happened, there never was a census. The census
that they did do was always in June. When they did a census during that time period, it was always in June. So if they were on their way to down to Jerusalem or any place whatsoever, Bethlehem or wherever, to do their census, because that would be the head area and everybody would go into there to get counted. That would have been in June.
In with the late spring, early summer thing with the star and the lambs and
exactly.
Everything.
Yeah. I don't know, from what I've heard though, that around the time all this supposedly happened, Jesus born and the virgin birth and this, that, and the other, there was no census at all. I believe. I'm sure that's what I heard somewhere. I may be incorrect, but apparently the census was out by quite a period of time. I do like the idea, though, that potentially the star that they follow could have been Halley's Comet. I do like that theory.
But you can track that back because Halley's Comet goes like clockwork.
Yes, every what 57 years is it? I believe
80. I thought it was 80 years.
I think
Oh,
it's 70 something or 80
Yeah.
because Mark Twain arrived with it and
oh,
he
died the
left
same
with it
time,
as well.
didn't they?
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
died with it. Yeah. I've got some on the census here.
Mm.
The census of Quirinius, was a census of the Roman province of Judea taken in 6 CE upon its formation by the governor of Roman Syria, Publius Quirinius. The census triggered a revolt of Jewish extremists called Zealots, led by Judas of Galilee. Gospel of Luke uses the 6 CE census to date the birth of Jesus, but also cites the time of Herod the Great, who died between 5 BCE and 1 CE, while the Gospel of Matthew only references Herod the Great. Most critical scholars agree that Luke is in error, while some religious scholars have attempted to defend the Gospel, sometimes invoking unproven claims. So there was a census, but that was in 6 CE. So it depends on, when Jesus was actually born.
With the historical star charts, they put it if he existed, it would been the birth would have been somewhere between 7 BC and 2 BC. So that would kind of fit with the timeline if we're presuming he was a real person.
Well, they do think he might be like Robin Hood, and that it was just an amalgamation of multiple other people. Because Robin Hood himself, as a singular person, wasn't real, but the legend of Robin Hood itself is actually real.
That's why I like Robin of Sherwood, because it makes the point. One's Robert of Locksley and the other one's somebody else. But they're both doing the same thing. And they both have the same girlfriend.
There was actually, was it Tony Robinson, old Baldrick? He actually done I think it was a 2-hour documentary. I think it's about 2 hours, just short 2-hour documentary about that. And the Robin Hood that we know of nowadays, I know it's wandering from Christmas, but Robin Hood we now know of nowadays, they do believe existed. But as I said, a multitude of people, like half a dozen different robbers, and they only actually worked during the spring and summertime. They didn't work during the autumn and winter because so that's why they robbed so much during the spring and the summer to get them through the cold winters.
And the bit that I find hilarious, sticking with the Robin of Sherwood thing, with the TV series with Jason Connery and Michael Praed, the village that they're defending is Wickham, which is not far away from Col and Perry.
Mm-hmm.
So I can now say I've been to Wickham as well as meeting one of the Robin of Sherwoods.
So technically, it's about 400 miles difference.
Yeah.
But then again, as I've said before, Boudica, there's some that believe that Boudica was a singular person.
Yeah.
Others that believe that she may have been an amalgamation of different people. As with the concept of Jesus, because you've got around exactly the same time. Is it Simon? I think it was. I think his name was Simon. He had more followers. He had everything about him was.
John the Baptist had more followers than Jesus to begin with as well.
Mm-hmm. So could then
it was John that baptized Jesus, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Allegedly, yeah. But I also saw that originally, before it became Christianity, it was actually started out as a serpent worshipping religion that took a lot of aspects up. Now I can't remember if it was Isis or Osiris that they took a lot of concepts from. Yeah. So the fact that I've just done that quick search, the fact that the things like the virgin birth of Christ over Christmas and that being anything up to 1 or 2 millennia older would make sense. Because that would be a vastly older. A lot of concepts come from Mesopotamia. and things like and areas like that. So one that I did find, I'm going to probably completely brutalize how to pronounce this. Hold on, let me put my pin number in. I hate the fact I have to put a pin number in my laptop every time I try and turn it on. Right, the Harborgeist is a companion to Frau Holder. I've actually got an image of this. I did get this one. I did remember to get an image of. So if I just bring him up, where is he? It's a rather weird drawing of it, but there we go. The Halbergeist is a companion to Frau Holder. It's a three-legged, half-goat, half-bird creature, also known as the corn goat. Many believed it could destroy or even move crops, and would destroy crops by harvesting them too early. And infant deaths are often put down to Harborgeists harvesting the children and chopping them down. It's also believed that the goat demon is part of the wild hunt.
Is it just me, or does that not look like the hobby horse thing that they use in the Morris dancing and stuff?
Yeah, that looks like Widow Twanky was a little bit skint one winter. So, but that was out of all the other images that I could see on there, that was about the best I could choose. I just thought that was like a really strange one.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a strange one. But that takes it back to Odin and the Wild Hunt.
Yeah.
Which, from what I've seen, from what you two have said tonight and what I looked up today, Odin seems to be the basis overall of what we call Santa Claus nowadays.
The character of Black Peter, the character of Black Peter that I've got a little bit about, appears in some traditions to come from Odin's two crows, Hugin and Munin.
Mm-hmm.
Black Peter was an associate of Santa.
Mm-hmm.
And he's usually dressed as a servant. I've put one image in there. And he's the one that carries the bag of coal and cinders around for the bad children.
Oh, okay.
In some of the Germanic and Eastern European versions, he beats the bad children like Krampus does. But in most of the softer side, the Western European side, he's just normally carrying the bag of coal and cinders. And traditionally, he is effectively a slave, traditionally. But a lot of the modern interpretations, when they do it, it used to be a white person in blackface, but now they've turned it into somebody who's just got a suit. As in, he's sooty because he's been climbing in a boot to get the coal and the cinders. So,
you definitely can't use black.
Yeah, so much has been made of the whole slave stuff that they've been forced to change him from Black Peter to Sooty Peter. So, and they've had to change the name, and it's actors with their natural skin tone and a few sooty smudges to explain.
It wouldn't go down well with the Rope Brigade nowadays.
Yeah, it's just, if you've been found to be passing the buck, blaming other people for something you've done, you might get your lie past Father Christmas, but Black Peter can see that you're lying, and he's going to give you a lump of coal or a cinder for the fire anyway.
Well, it's that Black Peter, when I was looking, that's the one that I saw that was also known as the Shadow of St. Nicholas.
Yes. Yeah, because he always
as-
walked behind him because, of course, traditional slavery customs, your slave doesn't walk aside you, they walk behind you.
yeah, and that was the other reason I saw that it was because Joe mentioned that Krampus was known as that as well. But Black Peter, that was the reason I saw earlier that he was known as the shadow of St. Nicholas is why he was why his face was depicted as being painted black to depict it was the actual shadow. One I did find was the Frau Holder, which was the goddess depicted as a witch, where Frau Perchta is believed to have originated from. There's quite an interesting one, and this one, I'm gonna absolutely butcher how to pronounce this. The Selig Freyen, I think is pronounced. I've butchered that completely.
Send it me, and I'll tell you if I can.
Oh, hold on. I'll quickly type it into the. Can you see the chat?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. I'll quickly type it into the chat. I should be ashamed, really, though. The fact that I've got German heritage and I can't pronounce none of these words is actually shameful, really.
I was going to talk to you about that, Carl.
Sorry?
I was going to talk to you about that. The fact that you've got German heritage and you can't pronounce these words.
My youngest sister, my youngest sister Laura, she's quite youngest sister Sarah Jane, sorry, she's quite severely autistic, and she actually learned to speak German and French before she learned to speak English.
It's not coming up.
Right, let me just quickly jump over to
Poppy Castle Shield is what is coming up for me. The shield of the Poppy Castle.
I'll chuck it into.
Yeah.
Let me. Frauen. And it don't help that I've got a update thing come up on my screen, so I can't see where I'm actually typing.
Yeah.
Oh, I think this is how you spell it. I've just sent it to Facebook for you. Yeah, no, I'm ashamed that I'm.
Something woman. Something woman is how I would translate that.
Actually, I'm curious. Let me bring that up again. Actually, it'll take too long. My computer's too slow. Maybe put it into Google and see what it comes up as. But apparently, they are believed to live in rocks and caves. They are said to either bless you or do harm just for the sheer hell of it. Steal children. They are said to have wild long hair and animalistic yet beautiful female faces. I don't know how that depicts it from that image, but that's how I put that in there, and it came up with that. But animalistic yet beautiful human female faces that don't go into the same sentence, really.
That might be somebody whose family was allegedly had one. Yeah, it means blessed woman.
Oh, okay.
Blessed women is what it means. So it might be the family crest of a family that allegedly had someone who was turned into one of those things.
Yeah, I can't see. Yeah, I can't really see anything actually depicts them as. Oh, actually, I don't know. This one's quite. Oh, here we go. I have actually just found one. Apparently, they're from the Alps as well.
Yeah.
So.
Not far away from where the Iceman was found, Otzi.
Yes. I think that's the one.
The Ottstal.
There we go. Found it.
Yeah.
So, but that as well, that harks back to the Wild Hunt. Nearly everything I seem to find today.
Most of the images I'm seeing of that characters
Hmm.
is 3 women, which is making me think again of the 3 witches, the 3 weird sisters that spin your
Witches,
fate.
Yeah.
But it does, as you said though, it all does seem to come from Norse and Germanic mythologies.
Yeah.
So mostly in Europe. I didn't look further. I didn't look like from Joe's side of the pond, like from
No,
America.
neither did I. I've got
Yeah.
one
Most-
left, which is from Italy, but I'll let Joe go.
Yeah, it's like most of the stuff that we've got brought over from Europe. And,
Okay.
we've made changes to it, of course, but nothing seriously massively crazy. We just Americanized everything like we do everything.
That's not always such a bad thing. So that's always such a bad thing.
You got another one, Joe, or will I go on to
No,
mine?
go ahead. I want to hear this one from Italia.
Okay, so I have found images for La Befana.
Yep. I had a feeling he was going to go for this. That's why I didn't go for it.
Yeah.
That's the Christmas witch, if I remember rightly. Yeah.
Yeah. So effectively, with the stuff that I've done tonight, we've gone from the 5th of December to the 5th of January.
There we go.
Epiphany, the eve of the Epiphany, the 5th of January is when La Befana comes out. According to tradition, the Magi stopped at Befana's house to ask for directions to Bethlehem. He was invited to join them, but declined due to having too much housework to do. Later, she regretted her decision.
Oh, sorry, my computer went funny. They knocked on her door. She's Italian, and they was going to Bethlehem via Italy.
Yep. I got stuff falling off my desk all over. But how weird!
They're following the star. They're following the star in the east.
My tarot cards just fell off the desk.
Well,
and the one that's turned up is the tiger, just as Madam comes wandering across in front of me.
Yeah. Lovely image of Pussycat Starfish there. Thank you, Pussycat.
Elsa.
What's that?
Say hello. Oh, she fell off the table. And that bloody hurt. That's my bad arm.
Oh.
Never mind. You coming out here? Come and look. Say hello. Come and say hello.
Yeah, she knocked Carl's camera crazy there for a second.
Yeah. Oh, pretty good. My poor Freddy's absolutely covered in scratches and blood, poor little sod.
So, anyway, La Befana.
Yeah.
Yeah, they stopped at her house to ask for directions to Bethlehem. She was invited to join them and declined because she had too much housework to do. She regretted her decision and set out on her broomstick to find the baby Jesus. But since she never found him, she continues to visit all children, leaving gifts just in case any of them turns out to be the one that she's looking for them.
Well,
she enters through chimneys and fills stockings. Good children receive candies, chocolates, or small toys, and naughty children find a lump of coal, often replaced today by sweet black rock candy. She's sometimes called the Good Housekeeper because of her origin story. She's often depicted sweeping the floors before she leaves the house. So she leaves your candies and stuff, and then she cleans up, symbolically sweeping away the problems of the previous year.
Does she want to stay here?
That way you don't get that guy coming to get you to cut you open.
Yeah.
She's typically portrayed as being a soot-covered old woman wearing a shawl, patched-up skirts, and a headscarf, or sometimes a pointed hat, riding a broomstick. She has traditional food associated with her. There's carbon dolce, sweet coal made from sugar, egg whites, and black food colouring. Beffanini, which is citrus-zested shortbread cookies, popular in Tuscany, often shaped like stars or stockings.
They sound nice.
Then there's Focaccia della Befana, a sweet brioche from Piedmont containing a hidden bean. Whoever finds the bean is king for the day. It's a national public holiday in Italy. Notable celebrations include Urbania, known as her official home. This town in the Marsh region hosts a major festival with hundreds of people dressed up as La Befana. Piazza Navona in Rome hosts a famous Christmas and Epiphany market where Befana figurines are sold. And in Florence, they have a traditional procession of the Magi and events where Befanas descend from rooftops. I'm guessing they're... I've forgotten the word. Sorry, they've put me on. They've put me on a strong painkiller, but it gives me memory loss. But the thing where you're bouncing down a building on the rope,
Repelling.
Oh yeah,
that's
absolutely.
the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the painkillers they've put me on. They give you, you forget words.
I'm trying to remember the name. The Schnabel pattern sounds to a degree very similar, but also
That's what I was thinking when you were doing that, but she's very similar.
It's very similar sound. Whereas the other one was like, if you ain't done it, I'm sewing you up with this dirty great big plough needle. Whereas she goes there and cleans up for you.
Yeah.
You don't want to stay here while I'm over with the kids over Christmas, does she? Me having to do it. Right, Joe, you got any last ones?
No, I've gone through what I had.
Well, I've only actually got one other, and that's this little fella. And they are called Straggly. I think that's how it's pronounced. Glasses. Right. Now they known as the Straggly or the Toggly are also the other name that they're known as. They're asleep paralysis demons, like in the old
with the hag and all the rest
on your chest and night paralysis and things like that. And it's these that it's believed that the word nightmare originated from. They run around screeching, chasing children, and lifting up skirts. So,
novel.
Yeah. They embody the rule breaking and chaos that people were trying to push out of the year. And some say that Frau Perchta, it's a minion of Frau Perchta. Others say that it's a creature that Frau Perchta rides into your village on. And others say that there are shadowy figures causing mayhem in the crowds. So I think they're quite cute. I want one as a pet.
It looks like a baby Krampus.
Yeah.
I was going to say that, yeah.
Yeah, it does, yeah. But yeah, that was the last little...
Krampus
I want one as a pet. I definitely want one as a pet. I must admit, it's not been the same without Ian here, but... Unfortunately,
how's Bella taking it?
So if we don't see you beforehand, Ian, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to everyone that is watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We've got 7 watching at the minute, so really appreciate that, those jumping in. So we've got Christmas in a couple of days. I suppose
there is nothing as over as Christmas. Is what my dad used to say. He'd sit there in the living room after the mess is cleaned up, and he'd say, "There is nothing as over as Christmas," because you got this huge buildup, throughout the month between Thanksgiving for us and Christmas, and you do all that crazy shopping and running around. I was out. What was it? Saturday. I went up to the big grocery store because I needed to get some stuff. To tide us over till Wednesday, because Thursday we're going out to Espraza for dinner with friends. And then Thursday we're going over with friends over here, just 200 meters from the house. And we're going to do Christmas present opening over there and another big dinner. So I'm good through Thursday with what we went through Wednesday, and it's good. But we're doing all this craziness going on, and I almost got hit by probably 4 different people jumping out or backing in or all that crazy stuff as I'm trying to drive. It's just
That's why every time I've been downtown this week, I've walked.
Yeah. Well, the store's a little far to go to what I needed. I've got a store about 200 meters straight north, straight south of me, which is easy to get to. I can walk that easy. I just did it today. But there's it's not got the selection the big store has for things I need.
Mhm.
So things I needed on Saturday. So it's kind of like, oh, but I almost got plowed into 4 times. I'm just screaming, and all these people trying to run me over and all that stuff. But it's like, I can't wait until Christmas is over. We can get back to normal.
I just wanted to get back to normal.
And you, Perry.
I've got 3 kids that change their minds like the weather anyway. You know, something that they might like something this morning, they go out and buy it, and by this evening, and they don't like it anymore. It's no, I've never liked that in my life, and so I've got like a whole load. I must have spent about 300 quid on the kids. I must have done, and it's absolutely months of trying to decide what to get them, then ordering it. Wait, good old Amazon. You know, I can't fault them for that. They have actually shown up on time and stuff, but it's ordering it, and then I'm a typical man. I can't wrap for shit. So it's
by the bags, stick everything in the bag with some tissue.
Yeah.
I had 2 Christmases where I was officially hired as the gift wrap staff member. So people hate it when they get presents from me because it usually takes them 5 minutes to find out how to get into it.
Oh, Heidi's the worst for that. She uses like half a roll of sellotape per present.
Well, no, I generally, if it's square, I will literally use one single piece of tape that's about that big. If it's square. Yep.
Oh,
I've seen it done really well like that. I don't do it. I use as much tape as I can.
I was so chuffed. There's one I've wrapped this year. It's stripy paper. And I've got the stripes to line up perfectly, even where it's the end where it's all been folded in on itself, and they form a perfect rectangle to the stripes. I was chuffed to bits with that one.
Yeah. Oh, it's a lot of fuss. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of stress, all for the sake, especially for my lot. They'll have my presents. They'll have Heidi's presents, and that'll take 20 minutes to get through, and then it's the rest of the day cleaning up all the paper.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Christmas has become so
bad. I collect up all the paper and reuse it.
Yeah, it is really commercialized, but it has been a long time.
It's not fun anymore to me. It's everybody wants Christmas presents. It's the crowds, the stuff downtown here in Carcassonne. They've got everything. It's really crazy down there with all they've got a huge Ferris wheel down by the port. They've got behind by the train station, they've got Place Carnot is full of an ice skating rink and all sorts of cabins. Square Gambetta is full of stuff.
Being somebody who's a seasonal worker, I only have wages April to September, so I start my Christmas shopping in April. So come December, I can just wander around in the midst of it with my cup of hot chocolate and eating some of the fancy foods that appear and watch everybody else have a panic attack.
Yeah. I to be honest with you, I say every year that I'm going to start buying Christmas presents from like March, April time, but I always end up waiting until like the week before Christmas usually. So, but I think that's just a typical man thing.
It's even just like doing the Tesco run. If I'm doing a Tesco run, if I'm on my own, I will go up and down every single aisle. And if I see something that somebody I know will like, it's like, oh, I'll grab that now, stick it in the cupboard for Christmas. Because I can get away with that because there's only me in the house.
The trouble
not
is,
thinking
women are
about
more
that kind of
practical
stuff.
than men. Women are far more practical than men. They
Yeah.
always have been. But no,
Mhm.
as Joe said, Christmas is too commercialised. It is all about. Is it? I can't think who it is. One of the famous chefs. They released. They put out. I think it was a Christmas ham at M&S, and it's £149
Yeah,
for a ham.
Yeah.
Really? You can buy a whole pig for not much more
That
than
was
that.
the way to say at that price. You can get one that's still breathing.
Yeah. So, but anyway,
But
guys.
that's too much work.
Yeah.
I did put up one last photo,
Oh, yeah.
which is
Have a
one
look.
little edit that I did for my Facebook page. But it's one of my favourite pics, and I just added a little scroll across the bottom.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
That's my day job. So, and one time when it had snowed, my pal edited the image of me, so I have a sword in my hand. But yeah, Merry
Oh, is that-
Christmas, Abdi.
Is
And
that
Somebody
the
who's
cathedral
tourist.
worker?
Yeah, that's in the middle of the cathedral. That's me.
Oh, wow.
To my left, my screen left, the side that doesn't have the sword, is actually where the bishop's cathedra would be in that pillar. That's why you can see there's like a big notch out of the pillar.
Merry Christmas, Andy.
It's where the bishop's cathedra seat would have been fitted in. So,
And happy Christmas to you as well, Perry. So,
how's it go? As I was saying the other night with the carol concert, Merry Christmas, everyone.
oh, I must admit, I watched that. I don't know if it was Paris or if it was close to you, but that flash mob for the Christmas thing.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. Or it
Oh,
might be
the good one that they had going on, that was in Paris, I think.
That was Paris, was it?
Yeah, they were doing Carol of the Bells, weren't they?
Oh, that
Yeah.
one. Yes, I have seen that one. Yeah.
It's not my sort of thing, but I must admit that was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that group does a really good job, and it sounds great, it looks great.
I've had one final thought on the whole Christmas thing. You can look it up if you want. The Coventry Carol, Lully Lully, is actually my favourite song carol because it is Mary, Mother of Jesus, and 3 witches discussing how they're going to protect the baby from Herod. And it's still on the go now as one of the most done Christmas carols from the big chorale choirs and such like. Yeah. And most of them think it's Mary discussing with her friends, but when you do some historical digging, it's 3 witches and Mary discussing how they're going to protect the child from Herod.
That's interesting. See, that's the bit about the census I was on about. From what I've seen, if Herod was the one in charge at the time, supposedly when Jesus was crucified, when Jesus was born, apparently if it was Herod, there wasn't a census in. I think that's where I got muddled. I think the other one there was a census, but if it was Herod, there wasn't a census or something like that. Anyway, the last one I'm going to show, I'm probably going to regret showing this, but it's a really bad choice by Paris. The Paris Christmas tree.
Oh, yes. I saw that one coming up.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist to work this one out.
Very modern.
That's a way of putting it, yeah. I think my second wife would have managed to fit that, to be honest, but
I found the lyrics for Coventry Carol.
Oh, okay.
The bit that tells you that it's the 3 witches. I'm not going to sing it because I can't hit that pitch anymore. Oh, sisters, too, how may we do? Oh, sisters, too. You know, For to preserve this day, this poor youngling for whom we do sing. And then you've got Herod the king in his raging charged, he hath this day his men of might in his own sight, all young children to slay. So, but it's the fact that you've got the O Sisters too, although when you look it up,
It's interesting.
it's O Sisters 2 as in TWO, as in TOO.
Yeah.
You know, but when you look up the traditional lyrics, it's O Sisters 2 as in the numbers. So it's Mary and the three witches discussing how they're now, whether it's the three witches as in the three weird sisters that spin your fate or what, I don't know. But we've seen the three sisters that spin your fate are reflected in multiple countries worldwide. So it wouldn't surprise me if that's just kind of harking back to that, and it's another representation of Christianity meets whatever the tradition was in that area. So,
I was just looking up the. I was just curious because obviously, like the supposedly Mary and Joseph went to Bethlehem and had Jesus, and they went there for the census. And I just looked it up. Herod the Great ruled between roughly 37 BCE to 4 BCE. The well-known documented Roman census in Judea happened in 6 CE after Herod had died. So that does the census caused unrest, and it was mentioned by Josephus, a first-century Jewish historian. So that Jesus being born at the time of Herod, which the Bible says in one point, but as we know, the Bible's full of contradictions anyway. That just shows that it was wrong there as well.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, guys, I wish you all a happy Christmas and a happy New Year or whatever holidays you celebrate. When we come back, hopefully Ian be back because
his guests are probably going to be gone by then. Yeah.
You know, his guests should have left by then, hopefully.
If Ian's got us on in the background, apologies, guests, but yeah, he was going to be here till you turned up.
No, it's just the way it goes. It's that time.
Yeah, it is.
It will just turn up, won't they? With Tracy, hopefully she'll be back on the next one. Unfortunately, she had a family emergency at the last minute. Good news is, I believe she said Adam's coming back for the day on Christmas Day, which would be lovely for him. You know, he'd be able to get out of the hospital for the day, which would be fantastic. So I wish him all well for that. When we come back, I think we mentioned it quite a few times, a few weeks back. Joe was saying about skinwalkers. I think when we come back in the new year, we'll come back with skinwalkers.
Well, being that this Wednesday would be Christmas Eve, next Wednesday is going to be Hogmanay.
Oh, of course it is, yeah. So we might have to do that one. I don't know why. I was thinking 2 weeks ahead for some reason.
Nah, 24th and 31st.
So we're gonna do next week's a couple of days earlier as we've done this one.
If you want, I'm easy to go with the flow because with the way things are at the moment, I'm not going out. It's not worth the hassle.
Yeah.
With the shoulder the way it is, I can't be in a pub full of people because I'll end up hurting myself and maybe hurting somebody else.
Yeah.
Which is quite annoying because it's the one time a year I usually do go out and about.
Yeah. Well, hopefully by Hogmanay, your shoulder will be feeling better.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. So, right, guys. So, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, son, as well, Joe.
Oh, yeah. I'm waiting for you.
Merry Christmas to everybody.
Take care, everyone. Thanks for
joining. Got bird frogs for the kids, so we're good.
Take care,
Have
everyone.
fun. Ta-da.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, mate.